Ready? Play.
To the ball, being aggressive, is it really, do you feel just a matter of being able to be fit and play your game and these results are coming, or is there something more to it than that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've definitely improved in some different physical areas, and I think putting together some of those physical improvements and allowing myself to do some things technically more sound, I think has been really helpful. So the physical work that I put into my my day-to-day is like really important, and I feel like I spend so much more time like in the gym and running than most people. I really work my ass off. Fortunately not that many people get to really see that, but I put a lot of hard work into it, so it's nice that I can kind of now make some technical adjustments with those physical improvements.
For Floridian, your player's box is kind of empty. Where is everybody? Are your parents here? Or?
Yeah, I feel like we had, I had a rough go for a few years there, just reporting on everything in my personal life, and I'm sick of that. And at this point, I don't really appreciate sometimes the narratives that we get drawn into. And a lot of really positive interactions previously with my boss, and a lot of great people supporting me. And unfortunately, sometimes the way things happen or the way things seem to appear get kind of like a mistold story. And then so we're just trying to eliminate the drama and keep it really simple, so that my life is not feeling like I have, am just like in this simulation theory where it's everybody's story. So, yeah.
For you, what do you draw inspiration from today or nowadays for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think so much of the hard work that we put in over the course of our career, most of us have been playing since we were 6, 7, 8 years old, and have spent so much time. This is a full-time job. And even when you're a junior, the way that junior tennis works and how you play 50 tournaments. I had a couple years where I literally played 50 tournaments, and I played over 100 matches those years. And the stress that not only puts on you, but your family and my parents were working double jobs, and I remember feeling so bad if I didn't have a good tournament or if I didn't play well, because I knew how hard my mom was working. I would literally work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, and just them doing everything for me to be able to have the opportunity to come out here to earn a scholarship, to now play professional tennis. And so I think that's where a lot of my motivation comes from. My parents did everything for me as a kid to get me in an environment that was really positive and motivating, and in an environment too where you can succeed, but where you can also learn to accept failure. And I think the tennis teaches you so many incredible lessons. So without that experience, and without my parents, giving me or allowing me and driving me all over the state to play these silly junior tournaments, I mean, I have to give them so much credit, because I'm talking about having kids here shortly, and I don't know if we're going to be going to 50 tournaments a year. I don't know, and I'm in a lot different situation too financially, and I just so I think about those times a lot, and I think about it a lot with my dad. 85 years old now, he had me a lot later in life, and my dad used to get up with me at 5 in the morning, and we would go and practice. Who does that? It's pretty amazing, especially at that age. He could be doing other things and resting, but he wanted to be out there and help me and let me live out my dream.
Is that what you're thinking of when you're playing this tournament?
Well, I'm playing really well right now, so I'm pretty locked in and focused. But whenever I have a bad day, I'm this isn't a bad day. It's not that bad,
Do you think because, you've said this is your last season, do you think now you're a quarterfinalist at Miami Open, do you think that's what's letting you play freely and sort of, there's an end in sight?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've had times where I've played freely and have played really great tennis, and I think a lot of it has to do with like the concentration and feeling like, okay, you've got momentum going from like previous weeks and playing lots of matches and not just coming off like training weeks. And like I think when you're playing a lot of matches, you feel like kind of that momentum, and you feel like you can settle into the matches a little bit better. So I think with all the matches that I've played over the course of this year, I mean, it's been more than I have done in some seasons. So I think that's really what's helping me the most, because I mean, I don't really have much pressure on me. My parents are the type of people too, like if I worked at CVS or I was delivering pizzas, like it wouldn't really matter. They would still be just as proud and would be supportive. I don't feel like, I have to be like this like professional tennis player or like doing this if I don't want to. And I feel like maybe in a lot of ways that's helped me, but maybe in some ways if I, had somebody who's like, you must play tennis, maybe it would, I don't know, maybe
never
light
know.
a fire under my ass. I don't know. You never know.
Don't know if you're lacking
Right?
that. The motivation
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
I have a 9 and 7-year-old daughter who play a lot, and it's always struggle. What's the best way to approach
I definitely don't recommend putting that much pressure on your child. Like seeing it, like people and friends that have had those situations, I definitely don't recommend
I
that.
heard once that your dad had you playing with his friends a lot at like the park courts or something.
Yeah.
Is that can you speak a little bit more about that and how that was different or how that might have helped you develop as a player?
My dad, I mean, I grew up like my mom was a preschool teacher and my dad had a small landscaping business. Definitely lower middle class, and so that's not like a prodigy professional tennis budget. Like this sport is very expensive, and so they did everything they could and took me wherever they needed to, and I had a lot of free coaching and people that helped me. But sometimes there were times that I needed to play more, and so my dad played in some of the city leagues and knew a lot of city league players, so I played against a lot of 4.0 and 4.5, 5.0 men's players. Probably like 9 years old. Yeah, and it's amazing like how many grown adults like signed up to play against such a like feisty like small child who's like
destroy the 9-year-old
getting upset. Yeah, so it's a very unorthodox way. And I also, my dad also had me playing with like a wooden racket for about a year at one point. I think that was probably like age 9 to 10 as well. I was playing with a Niesel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this racket. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I hit the ball so clean is because
It's a tiny sweet spot.
yeah.
Well, you've got that killer backhand. It's just one of the most famous shots on the tour, I think. And is that developed a bit from playing those from playing man on bigger?
Well, I don't know if you've been to the parks, but a lot of those people lack quality instruction. No offense, but like a lot of those people like really lack quality instruction, and I actually think it's the opposite. And I was kind of like, well, you don't want to be hitting it like that, so let's get some footage of like Jimmy Connors and
Watch the
Tina
pros.
Hingis and like anybody else but
I'm
these
just
people
thinking
at the park.
if that was a stroke that you developed just sort of to win against bigger.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I would have to try to overpower, the people that I was playing against because, I was a lot smaller and that was hard to do, so it was challenging. I think it definitely helped me. I don't think that tennis needs to be a country club sport, and I don't think that, even if I have kids and they want to play tennis, they're not getting lessons like every few days. They're not, because that's not how you get better. You don't get better just through instruction. I'm sorry to all the teaching pros that charging an arm and a leg, but you get better by learning, by experiencing, by playing with other people as well. I feel like a lot of the kids, they go out and there's a lot of feeding involved and a lot of technique, and really tennis isn't about all of that. It's about trying to figure out how to win, be scrappy, be creative, and I think you get that through experience. So I do think my dad did a lot of great stuff.
This has one more. There's another UVA NCAA champion who's doing pretty well these days. Do you have a connection with her, relationship with her? What do you? What's your?
Yeah, so I mean,
your bond with
Emma,
them?
I've known Emma for a few years now. We played. There was an exhibition event during COVID in Charleston. It was aside from like the Charleston tournament that we normally have because of COVID. And Emma was in the event. We got to play doubles together, like an exhibition doubles, before she went to UVA, and got to know her a little bit through that event. And then obviously followed all of her success at UVA, and it was really fun to watch. And now super exciting that she's on tour and doing so well. I've spent a bit of time with her too as a professional. We played doubles at the French Open last year. Hopefully get out there again and play some more doubles. But she's one of my buddies on tour that I talk to a lot, and passing and in the gym and in the locker room, and always striking up good conversation with her family and her coaches, and trying to support Emma as much as possible. Not that she really needs it, because she's like really killing it and doing really well. But it's been really fun to see like another person from UVA doing so well, because I think Emma was a top junior ITF in the ITF rankings, and then decided to go to college. So I thought that was great, and it's just been amazing to see how her game has evolved since being like in high school and then now being a young adult, and just her maturity and confidence. It's a lot of fun, and her family, they're great people, and really enjoy them a lot.
Great.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Danielle.
It's great with you.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you're tuning in from. That was Danielle Collins in the last 24 hours or so before her match with Caroline Garcia, which we'll be covering live on the channel shortly. But it's my great pleasure to be joined by Damian Kust, who I know is a huge fan of the coaching influence of Goran Ivanisevic on Novak Djokovic. And in general, I know he's a big fan and believer in the influence that these coaches have over players such as Djokovic, who maybe barely win a match without coaches such as Goran. Right, Damian?
Yeah, first of all, I have to say I'm here for Daniel just single-handedly ruining the whole pizza delivery industry. That was cool. When it comes to Ivanisevic, I really don't think there's that much to talk about. I think Goran has had an influence over Novak, of course, especially at the beginning of their partnership when he was just sort of joining as that one specialist. That is sunlight, by the way, Ghosty. Yes, it's 6 p.m. and I still haven't had to turn on the light.
But and the clocks are about to change. And the clocks are about to change. So it's going to get even better in the next week or so.
Exactly, yeah. On Saturday, it's going to get much better, or like Sunday during the night. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that Ivanisevic joined with like a very clear idea in mind, as a bit of a serve specialist, if you may. Then he, of course, kind of transitioned to become like the primary coach of Novak Djokovic as well. But I think after that, these initial shakeups, which definitely have given Novak a few slams, a few tournaments, sort of increased his longevity as well. For the next few years, after these technical shakeups in the serve motion, after that, I think Goran was sort of just like someone that Novak could bounce ideas off of, which doesn't really, it isn't required. It isn't necessary at this stage of his career. But, it's still helpful. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he was still, providing good atmosphere and also, just saying, well, I think we should do it this way. And Novak would sort of probably talk to him about more so on that sort of level, I'm assuming. But, especially early on in their partnership, he had major influence over Novak. We know that recently, like Djokovic has been kind of, he let go of his management at the end of the year. He now lets go of his coach. So he's really just full on reinventing his team. We don't, of course, and we won't know what exactly the reasons are. And if it's directed by his recent results, the last few events, if it's directed by, I don't know, just things becoming kind of stale, who knows? But yeah, I don't think it's going to have like a massive influence on his results if Ivanisevic is there or not at this stage of his career.
There is a suggestion that there was a mini fallout in Indian Wells. I don't know how strong that is, but Goran was particularly unhappy with, or apparently was unhappy with certain things regarding Djokovic's attitude there and being a bit laissez-faire to training. I have to say that there was an additional comment on that from somebody that said that they saw Goran picking Novak's rackets up and they thought that was fairly unbecoming. But I don't really know how solid that is. Certainly the reaction from Novak today was extremely complimentary and loving, as you would probably expect. But yeah, I think in recent years, it's just been someone, as you say, to bounce off. On the day of a Grand Slam final, perhaps he can lean on him and listen to him with a bit more respect than he would you or I, who's never obviously been there before, seen it or even done it, never mind worn the T-shirt. But I don't see Novak's I see a lot of reaction on social media today, but I don't really see any great change in Novak's trajectory. It's not like Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool or even far worse, Ferguson leaving United. I don't see the rest of Novak's career being empty, basically.
Yeah, let's see who's going to be David Moyes, or if there's even going to be a David Moyes, basically. And yeah, I mean, it's possible that Novak will not actually hire anyone. There's, of course, still a lot of people in his team, perhaps not necessarily like tennis coaches, but the fitness guy and stuff. So I don't know. It's possible for Novak to just keep going. Maybe he will hire someone massive. Who knows? There are definitely a few big names sort of out there on the market right now. And I guess that's my internet dying for a second. But there are definitely a few big names out there on the market right now that Novak could pick up. There's also a few big names that Goran could pick up as
I think
in his next coaching endeavor. Who knows?
That's the more interesting part. Where's Goran going? I don't know whether Novak will take on a coach, who that will be, whether it will be a sort of super coach, someone he can lean on those big occasions. Is it going to be someone who can just give him a different voice to maybe just give him that bit of extra motivation? I mean, I don't think it will make a huge amount of difference. I don't think he'll be winning or losing Olympic gold as a result. But I think Goran, if he can make certain tweaks to certain players' games, I don't know if he can help a Leila Fernandez become a serve bot or the thing is, I've heard Tsitsipas mentioned, but Tsitsipas's elements to his game, if the elements of Goran's help with Novak are to be believed in terms of his serve, that makes sense. Of course, Goran being a particularly strong serve, in fact, particularly strong is a mild understatement. I mean, the serve was kind of everything. I don't know whether Tsitsipas can gain from that because I don't think Goran necessarily turned Novak into the best backhander of all time. But yeah, I think Goran's trajectory is the most interesting of all.
Yeah, Tsitsipas is a fair shout. Like that's kind of possible. But first of all, we still need to find out whether Goran is going to be coaching it all, is going to want to coach it all, because
he might have just wanted and enjoyed that Novak dynamic. I don't recall.
Something is breaking up.
Oh, okay, it could be my internet. I don't recall.
No, I think it's mine for some reason. But yeah, I mean, Goran could legit not be coaching because, well, he was not really like a coach in the first place before he started working with Djokovic, right? So maybe it was a one-time thing for him. Maybe he wants some time off now. Maybe Stefanos Tsitsipas picks him up. Maybe Dominic Thiem picks him up. There's a lot of options out there. We just have to wait and see. But yeah, it's pretty big news, sure, but it's big news without an actual that's great for Novak or that's horrible for Novak.
Yep, indeed. All right, well, you can enjoy sunny Poland what remains. Of course, it's particularly sunny today after the result of last night, and we'll probably get into that. We'll probably get into that a bit more as the week progresses, as we cross paths. But maybe even in Estoril we can discuss that at great length, especially some of your predictions, or one prediction in particular. But I want to take you to task on that prediction. But we'll do that. We'll do that maybe next week in Estoril. You'll find out, Damien. There's a match going on right now, and I know Ghosty has almost little or no interest in Goran and Novak, and is pretty keen to know how Danielle Collins is getting on against Garcia. I know the score is on the screen. Nothing crazy has happened. In fact, the craziest thing I want to mention is that Danielle Collins is wearing a huge plaster on her knee, but by Danielle's standards, that's not too bad, bearing in mind I rarely see her without strapping of some kind. But there's been no break points or anything crazy like that. So, yeah, Damien, I'll speak to you soon. Hopefully I can get my words out. And, yeah, well, of course, Damien, you'll be back in a couple of hours, won't you, for Mahatch against Yannick Sinner?
Yes, indeed. Right after this match, pretty much, unless it's like very short. So, yeah, if you guys want a bit more of Damien action today, you know where to find me later. For now, we just get to enjoy John Silk, the supermarket guy.
I've got some supermarket things I need to talk to you about as well, because we're going to be obviously probably in a supermarket. I hope we're going to be in a supermarket. I hope we're going to be in a supermarket together. And then there's a reason I'm using that verb hope. But again, that'll have to go on the back burner, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right. See you.
Bye. So, Collins serving first, as I did mention in the chat earlier. For those of you just joining, do hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Yeah, Ghosty, that was particularly funny when you mentioned them. I don't know. I can't help myself, Ghosty. It seems to be an addiction. I'm weaning myself off the I wrote a book. And by the way, Even the Defeats is available on... oh, there you go again, you see. Ghosty, I just can't help myself. I've got lots of things that I need to wean myself off. But little by little, right? I hope you all, by the way, enjoyed that Danielle Collins chat after her previous round win, which I think was over Chestea in straight sets. And yeah, I'm pretty looking forward to this particular clash between these two players. No prisoners taken from these two, that's for sure, on the court. As we can see, Garcia very much inside the court for the second serve return. But she puts it into the net. So it's 40-love Danielle Collins with 3 game points. I'm just going to turn the light on. There we go. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Ghosty. Self-promotion anonymous, let's call it, if you like, although going onto a YouTube channel and talking about it is hardly anonymous, I would suggest, although some might suggest, given the size of the YouTube channel, it is close to anonymity. Indeed, Ghosty, indeed. Okay, I can see somebody has entered the chat, although his name does escape me. Anyway, let's get focused on this match. Danielle Collins, Garcia. Get voting in our poll as to who you think is going to win this particular encounter. And yeah, get your predictions in. You can also let me know in the live chat. I think, Ghosty, I saw you going for Daniel in 3. I don't think any scoreline would surprise me. I make Garcia the slight favorite. I've seen Garcia, you know, a lot in this tournament, and maybe that's why I'm. By the way, I noticed that whenever Nerlan enters the chat, Ghosty leaves. Very interesting. Maybe they're the same person. Nerlan, what's your prediction for today? We are on a change of events here, by the way, for those of you wondering why I'm not talking about the match. We've yet to have a break point. Garcia, of course, mentioning that, oh, wow, Nerlan, you're about 10 months behind. Did you enjoy it? Garcia, by the way, having, I think, if not the worst, close to the worst return stats on tour, in the top 50, so I should highlight. So, yeah, but she has told me, actually, there's a Caroline Garcia chat out there pre-Madrid last year where she highlighted she just doesn't know any other way of returning serve, so to speak. Anyway, Garcia serving at 15 all. Garcia, by the way, has already hit 8 unforced errors in just a fraction over 3 games. which at this rate means she's going to be hitting about 20 odd a set, which is quite a lot, let's say. But it's this time, it's Collins' turn to err, and now that's 4 unforced errors for the American. So 8 unforced errors for Garcia, 4 for Danielle Collins, but of course the most crucial stat is that they are on serve. Garcia here now, though, 15-30. Not the best of games thus far from the French woman. Of course, she has won a 1,000 before. In Cincinnati, I think it was. Let's have a little mix-up of the screen here, shall we? What shall we do? We can try... hi, Casey. I can try that one, but that's not particularly exciting. I can try that one, but that doesn't really excite either. We've got this one. Ah, okay. Meh. A little on the small side now. How does that work? Yeah, still a little small. KC, do please hit the like button, by the way. A return from Danielle Collins goes wide, and so it's 40-30 and game point for Caroline Garcia. Nerland, that's high praise from you. Two games all. What's your prediction for the day, Nerlan, for this particular match? I see Caroline Garcia, by the way, has joined the podcast YouTube sphere. Like, seems to me like lots of people are doing at the moment, tennis players as well as mere mortals such as myself. Two games all. And Garcia nets on the Collins serve. I say on the Collins serve amid a rally. So it's 15-love. Well, KC, you just missed. We had 5 minutes with the tennis brain in a jar that is Damien Kust, where we were chatting about it. But my one sentence is, to coin a phrase from Damien, it doesn't matter. They had a great partnership, but ultimately it won't make any great difference to the rest of Nole's career. Hence the decision, probably. I think that was 2 sentences, by the way, probably with a few commas. 30-love now on the Danielle Collins serve. And Garcia goes long on the return. Again, her returning today thus far from Caroline Garcia has left a lot to be desired, let's say, living up to the statistics that I highlighted just a moment ago. 40-love Danielle Collins, 3 game points. You're going for Garcia, are you? And an ace from Danielle Collins down the tee at the change of ends. Collins leads 3-2. Nothing to really report thus far. Let's take a short break and I will be back with you for game 6. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material, such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Hey Nolan, I like this question actually. I do remember you asking questions to Novak. That's right, in a press conference last year. I have spoken to Nadal, albeit at a press conference, but it's in Spanish, Nolan. Let's see if I can find it for you and then get the link. It's in Spanish. It's from Wimbledon from 2022. So, yeah. Ah, here we go. Here we go. It's one of the oldest videos on there. If you go to my videos and then click on oldest, you'll see it there. Look, Nadal press conference, Wimbledon. Yep. But I think there's a very easy way for you to add subtitles by clicking that cog thing, that little thing for the settings, and you can add subtitles and choose English. Hopefully that helps. So, Garcia serving here at 2-3, love 15. Goes down the tee, forehand return from Danielle Collins. Good depth there from Collins, which forces the error off the racket of Garcia. And we have got a chink of light for the American here. She's unseeded, unlike Garcia, who's seeded 23. Probably the closest we've come to a break, if you like, thus far. We've not had any break points, but love 30 is a little opening, let's say. Nice backhand return there from Collins, but the depth on the next shot from Garcia forced the error off the racket of Danielle, and we're at 15-30. Collins goes out wide, and it's a backhand return that goes long, and we're at 30 all. As quick as that. From love 30 to 30 all. Two quick points there for the French woman. Now 30 all. Goes to the forehand this time on the serve. And the 1-2 there from Garcia. Probably Collins was a little slow in tracking that, and now it's 40-30. Okay, 40-30 here. Garcia goes across court here. We're exchanging forehands at the moment. Oh, it's a lovely forehand winner down the line there from Garcia. And as quick as you like, she gets out of trouble there with that lovely forehand. And that's that. Game Garcia. 3 games all. Garcia was in trouble there at love 30, but she snuffed it out as quick as you like. And it's over to you, Danielle. Again, yet to have a break point in this particular encounter. Do let me know your thoughts in the live chat as well on that Goran Novak news. Three games all. Now over to you, Collins. Collins with a drive volley. Quite a comfortable one in the end, actually, to put it away for 15 love. Oh, it's a lovely backhand winner there from Danielle Collins. 30 love. Collins here to the backhand of Garcia. Ooh, and this time Collins errs. And my apologies with the score update. It's actually 15 all. Unless I'm right and the scoring system is wrong. Which, given the technical issues in Miami this week, who knows? Okay, Collins. Now look at that position there from Garcia. Actually, even closer than normal, I would suggest. So rather than maybe taking a step back, she actually took a step forward on that one. And to be fair, reaped the rewards with an excellent backhand return winner. She may even get a little closer now on those second serves. And she took that one very sweetly. 15-30. Danielle probably lamenting the caution she took on that serve. First serve here, and she's already inside the baseline. Now look at the second serve position. Let's just see. I know it's much highlighted, and maybe too much so sometimes with Danielle. Sorry, with Caroline Garcia, but it does seem as though she's even stepping even closer than she was in the first 3 service games of the American. Look at that. I mean, she's basically halfway between the... Oh, but then she comes into the net off the back of a half-decent return because she was so close. I guess she felt as though she had little choice. And then a lovely passing shot from Danielle for 30 all. And a roar of delight from Danielle. If you're watching on Twitter, by the way, please do hit the retweet button. If you're watching on YouTube and you wish to share because you like it, there's actually a button below the screen which says share. And I mean share as in distribute rather than the American pop singer. Although feel free to tag her when you do share this, and you know, maybe she's watching. You know, probably not, but you never know. If she is, I'd love to know if she's supporting Danielle, her compatriot, or Caroline Garcia. You'd imagine she'd be going for the American, but who knows? Anyway, tangent end stop. $40-30. And now that return is just, sorry, that serve is just not good enough, that second serve from Danielle, and we're at deuce. Advantage Danielle Collins, mind you. This time on the return, Garcia wasn't able to quite execute. much to her chagrin. On the baseline now, but she's stepping in. And that first serve probably wasn't good enough for Danielle either. She's going to have to improve the serve, I would suggest, if she's going to hope to win this match. But that is not a... Oh, I was just about to say, that is a lob that's not going to work. But anyway, or smash throw that's not going to work. But it didn't matter because Garcia was unable to punish. And it is 4-3 to the American at the change of ends. Hi, Matthew. Good to see you on board, by the way. Talking about attendance, I think. Well, I understand, Matthew, your viewpoint there. But to be fair, it is 11 a.m., I think, start. Although I could be wrong on that. Sorry, no, 1 p.m. start on a weekday there. So to be honest with you, you get similar things. I have a lot of things to say about attendance of tennis matches. I think sometimes the locals are insinuated or inferred in the criticism. And I think we need to understand socioeconomic situations when it's in Buenos Aires, for example, or some other parts of Latin America. Also time of day. Also the fact that tennis is tailored towards the wealthy. And therefore prices of tickets as well has to be thought about. Lots and lots of issues to be considered. And finally, there is the corporate element, which is unfortunately squeezing out a lot of potential match-going fans. I'm thinking particularly at Grand Slams. And to be fair, I'm looking at the stadium now. It looks like it's about a third full, which by some standards is, could be a lot worse, put it that way, particularly for a lunchtime encounter. But I think ticket prices, I mean, I was in Seville for the Billie Jean King Cup and Malaga too, where I think the ticket prices were pretty affordable, hence full houses. Plus you had that team dynamic in southern Spain, or national dynamic. So a lot of people taking advantage in and around Europe to travel there and have a good time. The Czechs in particular, as Danielle Collins there forced into an error. So it's 3-4, by the way, with Garcia serving love 15. But yes, I think, and then there's the corporate element. I mean, it drives me crazy when I see people tweeting and getting very frustrated or excited about trying to get tickets for the French Open or Wimbledon, etc. Particularly those two tournaments anyway, where it's just like, we just can't get any tickets. It's sold out, sold out, sold out every day. Philippe Chatrier, centre court. And then a couple of months later, we're watching those particular tournaments unfold. And for about 10 days, the show courts during the day in particular are empty. And the reason for that is because they shut it all off. And then at the last minute, they all go online and they're actually available. So people often ask me about advice for getting tickets for these events, and it's last minute. Now, of course, if there's travel involved and you're coming from a different continent or even just a different country within Europe, you can't really afford to take that risk, and I get it. But if you're a local, you'll get a ticket for Philippe Chatrier during the day for the first week, maybe even two of the event, unless it's Nadal or Djokovic. But pretty much any other match you'll see. And yet you go on the website right now and it'll tell you sold out. It's not true. Anyway, thank you for behind the mic. Compliment me on this commentary, although I did get a little sidetracked there. 30-all on the Garcia serve. Therefore, Garcia getting a little bit of a taste of her own medicine there with that return from Collins, which was probably even more impressive than some of the Garcia ones we've seen. 30-all. Big point here. Goes down the tee, backhand return. He's got good depth on it. And you could say that forced Garcia into an error. But equally, despite the depth, there wasn't a huge amount of pace on it. You would have expected someone of Garcia's acumen to deal with that. But we have actually now got our first break point of the match at 30-40 on the Garcia serve. Are we going to see first blood drawn here? Garcia throws the ball up and decides to catch it. Garcia goes down the tee, and that's an ace. I'm just smiling at Collins' nonplussed reaction to that serve. So we're at deuce, one ace each. The stat is showing us. Okay, Garcia to serve. This time again down the tee, but this time it goes wide. So it's going to be a second serve for Danielle Collins to look at here. Forehand return from Danielle. This time has a bit more pace on it with an equal amount of depth. And as a result, Garcia errs. And we have a second break point for Danielle Collins. There had been no break points until this game in this entire match. I say this entire match is only 7 games old, but here we have a second one. Garcia gets the first serve in. It's a half-decent return, though, from Collins. Collins is very much in the rally here, and it's the backhand that I heard her being complimented on pre-match that does the damage. And Danielle Collins does indeed draw first blood. 5-3 she leads, and she will serve for the first set. By the way, from behind the mic, that is quite the compliment from arguably the king of commentary. I'm feeling the pressure now. (5-3). Time to update that scoreboard. Talking of lunch, you're also making me a little peckish now. I don't know if you use that expression in North America, peckish, to mean a little bit hungry. Anyway, Collins here, serving for the set. You're not interested in whether I'm hungry or not, and I understand why. Collins wins the first point, so it's 15-love. Collins now edging closer to sealing this first set. 30-love she leads. Just over 33 minutes on the clock, which for 8 games is quite quick. They're not hanging about when it comes to serving. None of this Djokovic, Nadal-esque bouncing of the ball. And she aces her opponent, and she now has 3 set points. Danielle Collins probably playing the best tennis, certainly since Australia, and some of the best tennis of her career, I would argue. I mean, she was there with Iga in Indian Wells for the first set. Mind you, it's very difficult to keep up with Iga. Unless, of course, your name is Alexandrova, who will be in action later on today. Okay, so peckish is very much a British English expression, meaning a little bit hungry. 40-love. It's a double fault from Danielle. She went big on that second serve, probably feeling the presence of Garcia as she was a few meters closer to her. But I guess she does have to take a few risks on the second serve. And I tell you what, when you're 40-love up, why not? So it's now 2 set points after that double fault. Second serve. I'm wondering whether she should just take a bit off the first serve. Get that first serve in and maybe occasionally surprise Garcia with you know, a second serve as a first serve, if that makes sense. Keep up at the back. Okay, second serve here to the backhand. That's sensible, I think, from Danielle. Now Garcia comes into the net. Looks like she's in charge of this point, and she is indeed in charge of the point as she taps away the winner there at the net. Collins was pretty much in trouble. It was a half-decent second serve, and I'm saying that because of some of the other ones that I've seen before. And now it's 40-30. Garcia's got to get the first serve in here. I would be tempted, you know, to throw in a second serve or just throw in a curveball somehow or another on this first serve. Get it in, whatever. Goes down the tee. Forehand return is a bit lucky there from Garcia, and it's enough. It's enough. It was a very good first serve, to be fair, irrespective of my advice. It helped put her in charge of the point, albeit that the mishit return did seem to deceive Collins a little bit. She dealt with it with aplomb, and she wins the first set by 6 games to 3. We will take a short break, and then we'll be back with the second set. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. All things tennis indeed. Second set. Caroline Garcia will on this occasion serve first. Collins, of course, having that advantage, if you wish to call it that, for the first set. I remember having an interview or conducting an interview with Mr. Tennis Abstract himself. Do check out that interview from a couple of months ago. And we spoke about the advantage or otherwise of serving first in a set. And he said barely. I will say this, though, that, we see a smash there from Garcia. It was very difficult, to be fair, because the lob from Collins was decent. And she puts the smash wide as a result. Love 15 on the Garcia serve, first game of the second set. Yes, anyway, this interview with the Tennis Abstract. But I thought that actually even a 0.5% advantage, I thought that was quite significant given the number of data available. But I'll have to discuss that with him again some other time. Love 15 here, Garcia. 38 minutes on the clock as they race through that first set. No break either in terms of the end of the set there. Neither player taking any time out. Garcia there with a forehand winner, meaning 15-all. We have seen Garcia struggling a little bit. Maybe struggling is a slight exaggeration. We saw her getting treatment for a shoulder issue during her match with Coco Gauff. But it didn't really seem to affect her during that 3-set win. And she has yet to receive any treatment thus far. So it might have been something to keep an eye out for at the end of that first set. But no such issues for her. But the issue she has got to face is that she's a set down here in this Miami Open quarterfinal at 15-all. Backhand return from Danielle is long, 30-15. Second serve here for Danielle Collins to look at 30-15. Just coming up to 10 minutes to 2 local time, which I'm sure you're fascinated about. By the way, where are you tuning in from? I'm in Bonn in Western Germany. Do let me know in the live chat or in the comments whether you're watching on Twitter, on Twitch, or indeed on YouTube. And if you are watching on Twitter, for example, please do hit that retweet button. That is huge for us to continue to grow, even at a snail's pace. 40-15, 2 game points here for Caroline Garcia. Goes into the net on the first serve. Both of these players, I'm just thinking, fall into this kind of It's a really good second serve from Garcia, pretty much bouncing on the service line and probably catching Danielle out. And so that helps the French woman hold serve. I was just about to say that both of these players very much fall into the category on the women's tour of 6 to 50 in the rankings, maybe a little bit less, 6 to 30, 6 to 40 in the rankings, where on any given day, they can all beat each other. We're looking at Garcia, who I think is currently ranked about 25 in the world. I'm actually basing that off the fact that she seeded 23. Danielle Collins, a little bit lower down the rankings. Playing her final year, of course, she did reveal that just after her Australian Open loss to Iga Swiatek, that this would be her final year on tour. Whether there'll be any changes of mind of that, we'll have to wait and see. But she seems pretty adamant at the moment. Maybe a Miami title might help her change her mind. Anyway, Collins here to serve. Forehand return from Garcia is long. I think she caught out Garcia there with that serve. Garcia seemed to be leaning more towards the backhand. And that was a real sort of short first serve. Actually, kind of close to what I was suggesting earlier. Just throwing a curveball. Ooh, that won't help though. But actually, Garcia let Collins off the hook there, I feel, because she read that forehand pretty well, much better than she did the serve, that's for sure, in the previous point. Anyway, 30 love after Garcia nets. Goes long on the first serve. So a second serve here for Garcia to look at. Look how close she is, of course, but this time she gets her technique all wrong, and it's 40 love on that return. So 3 game points here for Collins to level things up at 1-1. Backhand return here from Garcia. Good depth on that return, but it's a lovely forehand winner there from Danielle Collins. And she does indeed level things up at 1 game all. We will, of course, have Yannick Sinner on the channel against Thomas Machac coming up after this particular encounter. That commentary will be brought to you by Damien. So do join us for that one. And in the meantime, hit like on this video, please. And do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Backhand return there from Danielle Collins is into the net. As we approach the 3/4 of an hour mark, we're actually at 1 Daniel Hanfmann, 1 Hanfmann Dimitrov, in that it's more or less this moment that Dimitrov was winning that particular encounter. I have seen that Hanfmann has pulled out of the next tournament that he was due to play in the US on the clay. So maybe there is an injury or an issue there. Backhand return here from Danielle Collins. Really good depth there from Danielle. Backhand, backhand, backhand. Boom, boom, boom. Danielle Collins, 15 all. Okay, second serve here now as well. 15 all. Garcia, 1 game all. Obviously, Collins there winning the first set. Maybe Ghosty. But of course, he has got a day off now to prepare for the Alcaraz match, so I think that might well help. A lovely forehand winner there from Caroline Garcia. You weren't here, Ghosty, for my reaction to Matthew's comment. Because, yeah, there's 3 or 4 reasons behind it. And I think sometimes when people are asking about it, we sort of are thinking about the locals. You know, we might look at an empty crowd anywhere in the world, and we go, oh, you know, and we think, oh, why aren't the locals going? Well, they are the last people we should be looking at. It's all tennis politics, if you like. Nice backhand there from Danielle Collins, putting her in charge at this point, and she puts the forehand away for 30 all. First serve not landing in, Ghosty. But Garcia hasn't really been punishing Collins enough. We are now after the Dimitrov-Hanfmann scenario. By the way, you also mentioning Dimitrov being tired. Well, he certainly had saved his energy from the previous match, which was done in 46 minutes. This one now 47 minutes old. Collins there wide on the... Sorry, Garcia wide on the first serve. Forehand return from Danielle lands in. Now on the backhand of Danielle. Danielle stepping in now. Opportunity to step in. In fact, she now garners a break point. Remember, Danielle has yet to face a break point on her serve. Garcia is about to face more break points, or at least one more. She had to save 2 in the first set. She only managed to save 1 of those 2, and that was the difference between the 2 players. Now, an additional break point here in the second set for Collins to take a significant advantage in this match. Down the tee there. Good first serve there from Dan. Oh, but Garcia errs on that short ball. It was a difficult pickup, but one you would expect her to manage. And Danielle Collins gets the break. She leads 6-3, 2-1 with a break of serve. Rebecca Nasakri went over 3 hours. It was certainly pushing 3 hours, yes. I felt there might have been a little bit of a movement issue there from Rebecca. By the way, we are now seeing the arm. Now we're seeing a bit of arm stroke shoulder treatment for Garcia. I touched on it at the end of the first set. I was actually surprised that she didn't maybe take a break at the end of the first set. I mean, they raced on with the second set. Garcia didn't go off court, and I expected her to take an off-court moment at the end of the first set, primarily because she lost it, but also because of the issues she'd had with her shoulder against Coco Gauff in the previous round. Garcia's been doing this all tournament. I think you're suggesting that there might be something in it. Is Danielle Collins going to take a walk off court? Interesting. By the way, what do you think of Danielle Collins' wristband today, Ghosty? I think that might be a smart move from Danielle Collins. I think more players should do that. I thought she would take it at the end of the first set. I thought that would have made a lot more sense. Or at least take some time off court. Maybe. Anyway, Danielle Collins winning the first set 6-3 with a break. And now up a break in the second. As we see the medical timeout continue, I think Collins is still off court. Sun has now, or is setting here in Western Germany, so it's getting a little chilly. A little chilly, not Bolivia. I have noticed that, Sean, yeah. See you soon, Ghosty. Yeah, I know. The guy from The Office, Rain someone, right? Is that who you're referring to? Me too, Sean. I've been it's been a slow burner on me, if you like. I think I had that sort of British resentment at the beginning of like, oh no, the UK version only. But I think I love both versions, and it's great that you can watch both, and it's not watching the same thing, if you like. They're both equally brilliant. Equally, maybe I'm still going to lean slightly more to the British version, but yeah, both brilliant. We are now coming towards the end of this medical timeout. So we will see both players getting ready. I've not seen Danielle Collins. I presume that she's on court, but looks like she's just coming back now. I think that's a smart move from Danielle. I think more players should do that. When there's a medical timeout, just go off court. Danielle coming back now. A couple of bottles of liquid in her hand as she prepares for the next stage of this match. Will it be the closing stage? If she holds serve 4 times, there's nothing that Caroline Garcia can do about it. But that's easier said than done. Okay, Collins here. Full-hand return from Garcia. It's a good return. It's love 15 on the Danielle serve. Backhand return there. It's a really good serve from Danielle, putting her in charge of the point. She puts the volley away. It wasn't an absolute gimme of a volley, but she put it away with aplomb. 15 all. So Danielle serving. Second serve here for Garcia to look at. Indeed, Jane, the pace is quite quick, although that sort of 5-minute break will have added a little bit and maybe even take a bit of momentum away from the match. We'll see how that pans out. 15 all. Garcia here. And it's a double fault from Danielle Collins. And I do think that just out of the corner of your eye, when you see Garcia that far inside the baseline, That must have an effect from time to time. $15.30. Are Dimitrov and Hurkacz, are they pals, are they? They may well be. It might have slipped me by. And the forehand return from Garcia, she would expect to do a lot better than that on the return. 30 all. I don't know who Danielle Collins was shouting at. It might have been to herself almost. Either way, 30 all. Good first serve there from Danielle. Now she's on the backhand. She's put herself in a very good position. So good, in fact, that she wins the point. 40-30. The Danielle Collins backhand strikes again. Has Collins got grief for taking medical timeouts? I don't recall. Maybe. Anyway, good first serve there from Danielle, and it helps her hold serve. 3-1 now. 3 more holds of serve, and Danielle Collins will be into the Miami Open semifinals. A little bit of work to be done yet. Mind you, a break of the Garcia serve, and you might be thinking, it's good night, Miami, even if it's just our early afternoon there. Good night, Miami. I don't think that's an expression. I was going to say good night, Vienna, but do you say good night, Vienna in the US, by the way? Do let me know in the live chat. Garcia there down the tee with an ace. Unstoppable, that one. 15 love. Down the tee here, and a miss-hit return from Collins. 2 first serves, and we are already looking at 30 love. Another good first serve there, and Garcia's in charge of this point, is she? She's at the net, but she doesn't put the volley away. It wasn't super easy, that volley. It was a cushioned one that she wanted to just dink back over the net. 30-15. Another first serve there from Garcia, and she puts the 1-2 away. 40-15, 2 game points. Hey, Ashley. Ashley, first thing, hit the like button. In fact, the only thing. I mean, you can do whatever else you like. I mean, you don't even have to hit the like button if you want. It's a free world. Ooh, second serve. That was a very wild first serve there from Caroline. Forehand return is decent, but Garcia sends her the wrong way. Holds serve. 3-2. Back over to you, Danielle Collins, as she tries to chalk off these serves. As I said, 3 holds of serve from Danielle, and she's into the semifinals of the Miami Open. Yeah, I'm just wondering, what is Danielle's resume like? Can somebody, maybe I'm going to have a look as well, but feel free to join me in seeing what is Danielle's deepest run at a tournament such as this, like a 1000. Let's have a quick look on the WTA website, much criticized website. She's currently ranked 53, by the way. So I said sort of in that sort of ballpark area of 5 to 50, but they can all beat each other. 5 to 50, maybe 6 to 50. You'd probably go Pegula, Coco, and then obviously Rybakina, Sabalenka, and Swiatek are all, a little bit ahead. But from 60 to 53, there we go. I've slightly altered the thing there. From 6 to 53, as Caroline Garcia gets a bit more attention to the shoulder. Yeah, they can all beat each other. And it's not a shock. Whatever the result here, it's not that big a surprise, if you like. If Leylah Fernandez beats Danielle Collins beats Caroline Garcia beats Maria Sakkari beats Vondrousova beats Jabeur beats Kudermetova. You get the idea anyway. Noskova beats Yastremska beats Kim Wen-jeng. It's all, that's just another day in tennis. Anyway, 2 career titles, it seems, for Danielle Collins, but I am curious as to what is her deepest run in a 1000. Pretty sure she's not won one. Career highlights. Finalist of the Australian Open in 2022. She's won Palermo and San Jose. I think they're both 250s, I'm going to say. Has she even made a 1000 semi-final? Not sure she has. Collins here on serve at 3-2 with a break and 30 love with an ace there. There you go. Thank you, Ghosty. I'm seeing something similar. Yeah, I knew about the Aussie Open final. I mean, who can forget that run? But yeah, I'm very curious about other stuff. Okay, Danielle Collins here. Down the tee, backhand return from Garcia is good. And forcing the error from Danielle Collins. And it is 30-15. Yeah, I don't quite feel as though... I mean, it's not quite Leylah Fernandez levels of vulnerability, but there's certainly a vulnerability there. I agree, Ghosty. So those 3 holds. It's not like John Isner or Rybakina. Rybakina, I guess, is the best server in the world. I mean, you could argue Sabalenka, but I just feel a little bit more confident in Rybakina's ability to see things out. Okay, they're on the backhands here. Garcia now on the forehand, though. And she doesn't put that forehand away, does she? Yes, she does, or she forces the error anyway. So we're at 30 all, and from 30 love, we're now at 30 all, and a sense of slight danger here on the Danielle serve. Into the net on the first serve. Forehand return is good, but Danielle deals with it pretty well. Now she's on the forehand. Pretty low bounces here from these 2 flat hitters. Backhand there from Garcia. Drop shot, is it? From Danielle Collins. Now Danielle Collins comes in and she puts the forehand away. She was in big trouble at various moments in that point. Maybe Garcia didn't punish her enough for that drop shot. I felt as though she was kind of forced into that short ball. I think she was not quite sure what to do with it. Anyway, Danielle really could have done better with it. Sorry, Caroline Garcia could have done better with it. Either way, look at Garcia. They're frustrated with herself. 40-30 and a game point. Yeah, Rybakina's serving in that third set was arguably untouchable. Down the tee, forehand return, backhand from Danielle, backhand now cross court from each player. But Danielle goes long. I think it was comfortably long. We are going to have a quick look at the replay, but okay, it wasn't comfortable, but it was out all the same. And we're at deuce. So again, the sense of danger returns for the American. Danielle Collins. Forehand there. Now it's Collins on the forehand again. She puts it away. Advantage Danielle Collins, game point. Backhand return clips the net. Is she going to get away with this one? Oh, in a way, Collins gets a bit lucky, but maybe she deserves that bit of luck after the net cord from both players there, back to back. But she did enough to win the point. And it's 4-2. So, 2 more service holds for Danielle. Danielle, of course, has she faced a break point? I don't think she has. That was probably the closest we got from Garcia to breaking. I think we may have there was a game in the first set with a few juices, but obviously with us being in this situation, it just felt a bit more danger in that one. Good first serve down the tee, but what a return from Danielle. Mind you, good depth there from Caroline. And then equally good there from Danielle Collins, and we're at love 15 on the Caroline Garcia serve. 4-2, Danielle Collins leads. And you'll be going, why does the scoreboard say 3-2? Because I haven't updated it yet, but now I'm going to. Garcia goes long on the first serve. Love 30 here could be very interesting, but for now it's love 15. Backhand return from Danielle is a winner. Love 30. I mean, a double break, 5-2. I mean, I think she had a double break on Swiatek, didn't she? But it was 4-1, and it was Swiatek, and it was 1 set all. Garcia double break, 5-2, is a lot closer. 1 set to love as well. Okay, Garcia down the tee, backhand return. Garcia on the backhand, forehand from Danielle. Garcia in charge of the point, steps in. Good depth there from the French woman, but it's not done yet. Now they're exchanging backhands, and you don't want to face a backhand from Danielle Collins cross court. Love 40. Love 40. Of course, it was in the wake of that eager loss that Danielle announced her impending retirement. 1 hour, 11 minutes on the clock. Love 40. Down the tee, forehand return from Danielle is decent. Forehand exchanges. Now they're on the backhand. It's a backhand winner, though, and it's a really good one from Garcia. Nothing Collins could do about that. 15-40. Yeah, that backhand has been pretty gravy today, as we would say in the UK. You can probably guess that gravy is good. We like gravy, and we're liking the Danielle Collins backhand. But one of the break points has been saved from Garcia. 15-40. Goes down the tee, backhand return. Forehand from Garcia. Forehand from Danielle is into the net. 30-40. 2 break points have come and gone. 1 left for now. Oh, it's a good first serve into the body. Nothing Collins could do about that. Deuce. What a first serve that one is from Garcia as well. And before you know it, we're now at game point for Caroline. She was staring down the barrel at love 40. But Ghosty, Caroline Garcia, did you know that she has the worst return stats in the top 50 in terms of winning the point? Backhand now to backhand. Backhand winner from from Danielle Collins there. Probably surprising Garcia that she didn't continue to go cross court. Has been so successful for Collins today. That time she put it through that gaping hole on the forehand side that Garcia had left her. And she took it. And we're at deuce again. Backhand winners there from Danielle Collins, 9. First serve is into the net from Garcia. Garcia, by the way, yes, she is probably top 10 serving on the WTA Tour. A double hole would have been very useful. Oh, and now it's a forehand winner from Danielle Collins, and she gets her 4th break point of the game. It is extremely low, Ghosty, you're right. But yeah, she has the worst stats in the top 50 for return. I think it's winning the return points rather than the actual return itself. Break point number 4 for this game. She had an additional break point in the previous service game, I believe, of Garcia. Garcia down the tee, but it's wide. Second serve. Backhand return. Forehand from Garcia. Forehand squash shot there. Defensive, and Garcia punishes her. Coming into the net on that short ball from Danielle. Deuce. This game feels huge. Danielle Collins breaks, and for me, she wins the match. Garcia holds, and the pressure on Danielle will be huge. Garcia, first service in. What a return, Danielle Collins. That was far from easy. That was almost into the body. But maybe the fact that she seemed a little bit deeper there on that return position, and maybe it helped her adjust to react to that. And she gets her 5th break point of the game for potential 5-2 lead. First serve down the tee, but it's long. Second serve here. Break point, Danielle Collins. Backhand return is decent, and it's enough to get the break. 5-2, Danielle Collins leads. She will serve for a place in the Miami Open semi-finals. I think this is in response to my comment about her being one of the top 10 servers on the tour, Ghosty. I guess that's what you're suggesting there. 5-2, Danielle Collins leads. and she will serve for the match. She'll be the first person to book her place. Will she be the first? No. Don't talk silly, John. She'll be the third person to book her place in the semi-finals, along with Rybakina and Azarenka, of course. Azarenka will play Rybakina tomorrow in the first semi-final. The second semi-final will be the winner of Danielle Collins and Caroline Garcia, Jessica Pegula and Alexandrova. You'd probably say that the favourite right now is Rybakina. Second favourite, Azarenka. I mean, Pegula maybe will be fancying her chances. But it's open. It's open. That's, these are all slight advantages. It's not like Iga's on a tear winning in straight sets, bageling and breadsticking opponents. It feels as though the margins are fine. Rybakina favourite over Azarenka, but if Azarenka wins that, she'll probably be the favourite in the final. Mind you, if it's against Pegula, probably Pegula would be the favourite. Pegula's probably a slight favourite out of Alexandrova, but Alexandrova was incredible in that win over Iga, and you feel as though she could beat almost anyone on any given day. But then if Danielle's fit and firing in the semi-finals, who knows? If she gets there, of course. Here she is, serving for the match at 5-2. Down the tee. Backhand, no, it's long. Second serve. Of course, Garcia has won a 1,000 before, so she can't be excluded if she miraculously turns this match around. Anyway, second serve. Backhand return from her. She comes into the net, but it's a backhand passing shot. It's another backhand winner off the racket of Danielle Collins, 15-love, and 3 points away from a Miami Open semifinals. First serve is in. Danielle Collins forehand, although she didn't get enough sort of curve on that one. Anyway, whatever. We're into the rally now. Is that Garcia going long? I think it is, And we're at 30-love, Danielle Collins. 2 points away. A kid has the ball. She's kissing it. I don't think you're getting that one back after the debate about giving tennis balls back. Nice first serve there from Danielle. Backhand is too good. It's another backhand winner from Danielle Collins. 40-love. 3 match points. Three match points, Danielle Collins. Good first serve. Now she's in charge of the point. Can she push the forehand away? She can. And she seals her spot with a clenched fist. She celebrates in the Miami Open semifinals. Handshake and warm words at the net from both players. Danielle Collins is through. Caroline Garcia is out at the quarterfinal stage. 6-3, 6-2. My battery is showing empty or low, I should say, on my laptop, which is probably an indication that I should be bringing this stream to a swift conclusion. Please do join us for Mahatch against Sinner, which will be brought to you by Damien Kust shortly after this match concludes. Well, in fact, shortly after this stream concludes, because the match has indeed finished with Danielle Collins winning 6-3, 6-2 over Caroline Garcia. And Danielle Collins will await the winner of Alexandrova and Jessica Pegula, which will be on later tonight. So, Ghosty says, I need coffee. Thank you, John. Thank you too as well, Ghosty, for tuning in once again. So, we have 3 Miami Open semi-finalists on the women's side, and we've got Danielle Collins speaking now.
prestigious tennis tournaments in the world. Well done.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. It means the world coming out here and having the home crowd support, especially in the tough moments. So thank you, guys.
What is the biggest?
Thanks to the crowd for the support.
On who you were as a qualifier here, made it through now 6 years later. You've had a lot of success. You've learned a lot about yourself. Biggest difference on who Danielle Collins is today?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely have a better outfit. I mean, I'm loving my like free people outfit. So that's definitely.
She says she's wearing better outfits now than she was when she first joined the tour.
You know, then it was a little bit harder. I was still balling on a budget.
Well, not anymore because you made it to the top. What made you so dangerous today? You've beaten Caroline 3 times. She's never gotten a set off of you. What is it?
Her record against Garcia was pretty special.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you know, depending on the matchup, some people are more favorable against others, and I think Caro comes out here and fights her butt off, and she hits really strong shots, and the games are really close. And I don't think that the set scores are necessarily a reflection of how close the match really is, and it's been like that every time we play. All of these games are going to do sad. So just, I think against someone like Caro, it forces me to be more concentrated because I know I don't want to give her an inch or she can get in there. So
didn't want to give her an inch.
So I'm not sure if you were paying attention, but I had the second gentleman of the United States was out on court. Kamala Harris's husband, Douglas Amaroff. I think I convinced him to play mixed doubles with you, either the French Open or Wimbledon. What do you think?
All right, we might need a box card. It might be tough after this match, but yeah, we'll see. I would love to get out there, and so great having somebody like this at our tennis and supporting women's tennis, especially. It means a lot.
I think so. I agree with you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for Danielle Collins. 30 seconds.
So yes, Danielle Collins, one of 3 now confirmed semi-finalists in Miami. She joins Azarenka and Rybakina, who booked their places last night. Just having a quick look at some of the stats here. 6-3, 6-2. Points won on first serve for Garcia, 57%. Danielle Collins, 78%. Actually, is pretty good, but it's possibly about Garcia's return game as much as Danielle Collins is serving, but outstripping her opponent 22-12 in the winners department. Collins versus Garcia there. Garcia, unfortunately, 26 unforced errors compared to 16 from her opponent. And Danielle Collins' prowess at the net, 100% of points won, 7 out of 7. Garcia, though, did not garner one single break point on the Danielle Collins serve. Danielle Collins will await the winner of Jessica Pegula against Alexandrova, which will be on, as I said earlier, later on this evening. That does bring an end to this particular stream. Do join us for Mahatch against Yannick Sinner, which will be coming up shortly with Damien. Do hit the like button and subscribe and all that other jazz. And I'll be speaking to you again very, very soon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.